He's been an extremely effective spokesperson on behalf of workers. It's my pleasure to welcome Rich Trumka.
Jim, I want to thank you for that overly kind introduction, but I also want to thank you on behalf of hundreds, maybe thousands of us that have benefited over the years by your leadership. We learned from you, we were tutored by you, we were mentored by you, and on behalf of all of those, Jim, I just want to say thank you for that. You've been a wonderful, wonderful friend to all of us. And Leo, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak here. It's a great honor. This is a very, very important and historic occasion. I want to thank you and the board for giving me this opportunity to say a few words with you. And I want to congratulate first the officers of this great union, because I think as a worker there's no greater honor than you can have bestowed upon you than to have your fellow workers, your brothers and your sisters, vote you to be their leader. Say, you are our spokesperson. And it gives you a very, very solemn obligation that you have and responsibility. So I want to congratulate all of you on having earned that great honor from your fellow brothers and sisters. And then I want to thank or congratulate the rank and file of the steelworkers, all the officers, all the members of the steelworkers, because one, you elected some great leaders that are not only leaders in the steelworkers, but leaders in the labor movement, leaders in the progressive movement in this country and other countries. And I want to congratulate you on that. And Lou, I want to start with a story that I think he sort of capsulizes today. I see a worker died and went to heaven and was standing in front of the pearly gate, and St. Peter walks up to him and says, "Before I can let you in, I want to ask you just a few questions." And the worker says, "Why, absolutely. What are the questions?" And St. Peter says, "Where are your scars? Show me your scars." And the worker looks befuddled. This worker never had a union, wasn't involved in the community, didn't do much, just thought that you made your way through life and everything would be great. And he says to St. Peter, "I have no scars." And St. Peter says to him, "Was there nothing on earth worth fighting for?" Now, when you look at this union, you've always been blessed with great leaders. Leaders that had those scars and were willing to fight for things that they thought were right. And when they tried to divide us because we came from a different country, this union stood up and said, "We won't have it. We know what that does, how it divides us, and how it prevents us from standing in solidarity." When they tried to divide us by creed, color, sex, gender, everything you can think of, this union stood up and said, "No, we won't tolerate it." And you were at the vanguard because of the leaders that you elected and the vision that they had and the courage that they had to move us forward. When workers were dying on the job and our employers said, "We don't care, that's a risk that you assumed," this union, because of the leaders and the rank and file, stood up and led a movement to make workplaces all across this country and other countries a whole lot safer. When they try to tell us that when you retire or you're crippled or you can't work anymore, well, you're on your own. This union said, "No, you're not. We owe it to people who have spent their life and given you the best years of their life to have a retirement that was dignified." And you fought for Social Security, and you fought for pensions, and you fought for health care for those people because of the visions that you had. And then you had two things are necessary, as you know, Leo, in any great struggle. Leadership makes a tremendous difference. But the Army has to be there as well. And this union's been blessed with a great Army, with great membership that understood the meaning of solidarity. Not lip service solidarity, but solidarity when it actually cost you something to stand with a brother or a sister. That when somebody made an off-colored remark about a African-American brother and sister of this union, you've been willing to stand up and say, we won't have that. We won't tolerate it. Even though some of your friends may have scorned you a little bit for it. That's the legacy of this union. A legacy of great leadership and a great membership that's always been willing to stand up for their brothers and their sisters beyond their ranks. And brothers and sisters, I can tell you this. Now, right now, more than ever, we need the leadership of the steelworkers, and we need the leadership of the rank and file of the steelworkers, because we face many, many challenges and battles out there. You see, right now, as we stand here and sit here, there's a young kid in southeastern Washington, D.C. that two parents work for a minimum wage, work hard every day, and they can't get by. And at the other end of the block, there's a kid with a big roll of money and a new suit and a new car, happens to sell dope or whatever. And that kid's going to make a decision whether to work hard and still live in poverty and have no health care and no respect and no dignity, or whether he'll go the other way and take the easy route. You see, our kids shouldn't have to make that kind of a choice. No kid should have to make that kind of a choice. And right now, as we sit here and we talk to each other, there's an immigrant man and an immigrant woman who are getting cheated out of their wages, misclassified and denied work that they have. They're being used to try to drive down all of our wages, when we know if they had rights and they could speak up for themselves and they could have a union on the job, they could help bring up all of our wages and not lower them as they are when they're abused. And right now there's a fight to get people that work for $7.25 an hour a raise. And that's the lucky ones on the minimum wage. There's another group called tip wage workers. And they make $2.13 an hour. And they haven't had a raise since 1991. And 77% of those people are women trying to raise a family on it. And it's not bad to get $2.13 if you work at one of the 5-star restaurants and every meal is $150 and you're getting a big tip. But if you work in Nemacolin or Waynesburg or any of the little towns around here where the diner breakfast is $4.50, you work hard and you don't get by. You see, they've come after us because they know that the labor movement is the last line of defense for America's workers. If they beat us, they have the playing field all to themselves and they can do anything that they choose to. But because of leaders like this man here, my friend, a man that I have tremendous respect for, and the leadership up here, and because of the solidarity of unions like the steelworkers and some of the rest of our unions in the AFL-CIO, we're not only not going to leave the playing field, we're going to take the playing field back for America's workers and make this a country that really does reward work and puts people to work and gives them health care and gives them a fair pension. God bless you.